On 4th March 2013, Kenyans embarked on the first general election after promulgation of the new constitution, marking the advent of devolution. In departure from the previous system, where Kenya was administered through 8 provinces, headed by a provincial commissioner appointed by the president, Kenyans will now elect governors and members of county assemblies of 47 counties created by the 2010 constitution. These also included election of senators based in parliament, whose chief role would be to oversight the governors and whose entry saw parliament transition into a bicameral house. Further, Kenyans elected women representatives in each county in observation of the affirmative action to increase the representation of women in parliament. Devolution sought to involve the people in governance while allowing better supervision and implementation of policies at the grassroots level. And with this in mind, several key functions were devolved, namely health, pre-primary education, agriculture, county transport, planning and development, trade development and regulation, cultural activities, among others. Health is one of the functions that has since caused friction amongst stakeholders, with the sector dogged with numerous worker strikes amid numerous complaints including delays in salaries, inconducive working environment, understaffing, ill equipment and general poor state of health, perhaps explaining why a health commission to govern matters health and health workers in the country was mooted in the BBI report. It has been 7 years for the county governments, which comprise county assemblies and county executives. While the system appears to have made significant strides in serving its functions, the unit contended with teething problems, especially supremacy battles amongst members that culminated in numerous impeachment motions against speakers of the county assembly, with a number of governors escaping the wars either through the courts or through Senate. The worst of these wars have been witnessed within Nairobi County Assembly, where fighting amongst members with the Speaker have become the order of the day. And the governors have not been spared either through the years. In 2014, the Embu County Assembly resolved to oust Governor Martin Wambora a record 4 times, where he challenged the decision each time in court and came out victorious at some point, colliding with Senate after Majority Leader Kithure Kindiki reaffirmed his removal from office was in accordance with the law.
Martin Wambora shall go home, Mr. Speaker. Not only just purely because of the things he did, Mr. Speaker, sir, but because it is very clear that, Mr. Speaker, that those things he did, if they are left unaddressed, Mr. Speaker, sir, it shall be what the Kiswahili saying says that usipoziba ufa utajenga ukuta, Mr. Speaker.
Other governors who have found themselves under siege include Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu of allegations of abuse of office and violation of the Public Finance Management Act. Waititu now awaits his fate in Senate, where it resumes in February. Taita Taveta Governor Granton Samboja was lucky to escape impeachment after Senate threw out a petition by MCAs who had accused him of gross misconduct. But this was not to be the end of his woes after months of protracted political wars with the Assembly, which Samboja accused of frustrating the development agenda. He moved to petition the president to have the county government dissolved. Samboja, borrowing a leaf from a similar situation in Makueni County in 2015, where Governor Kivutha Kibwana embarked on the petition over fallout with MCAs, which was eventually resolved. In Nairobi County, reports of a possible impeachment of the Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko are rife to avoid a looming vacuum after the governor, who has been running the county without a deputy governor, was barred from office over graft allegation. According to the 2018 Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission report, counties were a weak link in the fight against corruption in the public sector, with the arrest of county chiefs as well as other high-ranking officials raising a red flag. Besieged governors include Waititu, Sonko, and the Samburu counterpart Moses Lenol Kulal, who are barred from accessing office following Justice Mumbingugi's ruling. A ruling that has triggered a political storm and growing claims of a larger plot to scatter devolution as senators plot to amend the law and shield governors from suspension while in office.
Kaleta ile amendment kama ya Nigeria, ile article 308, ile magovernors, naibu wa rais na rais wako na immunity kutochukuliwa na kusumbuliwa because we are disrupting the devolution kwa hii country ya Kenya.
These governors are now set to move to the Supreme Court over the same ruling. Meanwhile, division of shareable revenue to the counties is another aspect that seems to take center stage every other financial year. Over time, it's procedure that involves various stakeholders including Parliament, Treasury and Commission of Revenue Allocation, seemingly hijacked by tough wars, with the Division of Revenue Bill 2019-2020 being the worst hit. A 3-month stalemate over the DORA bill threatened to paralyze county operations after Senate passed their own version of the bill without amendments, yet the bill had been introduced in the National Assembly. While National Assembly proposed 316 billion shillings, Senate stuck to 335 billion shillings, arguing that the figure takes care of inflationary conditions for counties. This was unlocked after a series of mediation efforts, and President Uhuru Kenyatta, who had all along maintained funds were not available, finally assenting to the bill at 316.5 billion shillings in equitable share. Governors say that irregular disbursement affects overall county operations, even as Treasury tightens the noose around the Public Finance Management Act offenders, accusing governors of accruing pending bills to county suppliers, withholding revenue from 35 counties, causing an uproar.
You need an institution to be independent and to execute its mandate. Then it must be given the funds that it requires for purposes of execution without really trying to go back to an institution and plead and beg and demonstrate a few other things, and because it gives room for Treasury and national government to manipulate the functionality and operations of the county government.
As the decade turns and the county bosses left with 3 years in their terms before the polls, all eyes are on the relationship between the national and county governments, and especially the Council of Governors, on how it will expedite performance of the counties in execution of their functions to facilitate capacity building for governors in serving national and county interests. Rose Gakuo, K24 Evening Edition.